Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
I've chased this interview for like a year now.
It's true. More than a year. Because you don't choose the right time.
So this is my problem.
Yes. The problem is you. You know, today you got me rightly because today is Monday. I have to go and play football. So you can see in my jersey already going to this.
So what does this remind you of, this outfit, this dressing?
It's normal. I mean, we've been like that since the days of me growing up in Takrady. Like every Monday in the afternoon, we'll have to go to Police Park, we call, to go and look at all these top players there. Ebo Smith, Emmanuel Kwachi, Kofi Abre, and the rest train. And then, strangely, they all loved me. And so I was always in there with them. They encouraged me a lot because they had dealt with my father before.
Oh, okay.
My father coached second year Azakes. I mean, he played the team before he was a captain and he became the coach. So I think when I was born, he was the coach. So I grew up interacting with all these.
Your football
players.
has been in your DNA?
Oh, yes. 4 of us, 4 boys, all of us played football.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So,
that's interesting.
and it came naturally. It wasn't as though our father played football, so he was pushing us to play football. Unlike recently, you see some parents pushing their wards to go and play football. No, it just came. Me, for instance, I had completed GSTS waiting for my results, GC then, and one day I visited the training of soccer missionaries, sitting under a mango tree at the training grounds, and Coach Amwa walked to me and he said, Infanti, what's in your bobo pa? I said, oh yes, coach, okay. Start training with us tomorrow. The rest is history.
The rest is history. That's a good one. But were you that talented? Because for Coach, I want to just walk in and...
Yeah, because I think somebody has spoken to him about me. You know, playing, growing up in Takrady, playing coach as usual. Yeah. I started as a midfielder. You can say an offensive midfielder.
Yeah.
And so, all through my coach playing days, I played through, you say number 8. And so, when I transitioned into a striker, I could score goals that people did not understand because I learned from playing as the number 8. I could always pop in the area without you noticing me. Yeah. So it was so now I'm old, and if I'm playing at the back, because now when we go, I play at the back, and
because you don't want to run.
Not like that. I think I run more than most of my colleagues now.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, because we've put on weight and all that. So I run most, so I have to be at the back to cover them. But it's because of the knowledge I had playing in the midfield, the eye for making those covering at the back. So I prefer playing there. It also gives me the opportunity to run more and to train more. Yeah. Because most of the colleagues will have the ball, play with it, pass the ball and be walking. But I would prefer to be more engaging.
So naturally, has football always been that thing in you?
Yes, I think it was a natural thing that was given me by God, but you just have to work on it. And so I have the eye, let's say, to scout, to be able to identify what a particular team is trying to do, and then could plan towards it. So if I observe a game, I'm able to immediately pick what the other team is trying to do, and then we'll have to get a strategy to outwit them. I'm able to easily do that.
You spoke about you and your siblings, like 4 of you, right?
Yeah.
You grew up from a very good home, a very good background?
Yes. My father was very strict. Never will strike you or anything of that sort. But even with a look, you'll be able to notice that.
Those looks.
Yeah, something is
the eyeball alone is enough to give you a message.
My father was a very calm person, but very
like
firm.
Yourself?
Very firm, because I remember Uncle Ben Kofi, when I served on the technical committee of the FA with him. Yeah. One day he called me and said, Augustine, in our local, the Infanti, Maminka said, you know, he was a stammer. Yeah. Usubanti da papa. Like, almost like my father. And you have to be very careful, because over here, those of us like that, people don't like us. They think that we are too open, we speak our mind.
No holds barred.
Yes. So, you're careful. And I just sat down and said, yes. Because you see, where we come from, and what I've learned, when you begin to speak like I do, the other side always feel that you are against them. But it is wrong.
But what influenced that advice from the late Ben Kofi?
Yes, he did a lot. But for me, if I see something is not right, it is not right. So how do we do something to remedy the situation? This is what I'm looking for.
Did you say something to influence that advice from him?
Yeah, I mean,
what he told
you know what he told me was, the advice he gave me was that my father wants Kotoko and Azakes. And Kotoko needed a draw to win the league. And Kotoko did everything possible to be able to get them in. But then Azakes officials told the Kotoko officials that, look, as for Ahinful, he will not agree. So it's better you people try and speak to him. And my father was the captain. So
how do you go and speak to a principal?
They approached him and he said, no, for him, he will play to win. If they win, fine. If Azakes also wins, so be it. And you guess what? He was the one who scored the only goal of that match. And Azakes beat Kotoko, and Kotoko was not champion that year. And so he told me that you have to maintain your dignity all the time.
But when you were on the committee, were you, like, quote unquote, a trouble causer to merit Ben Kofi advising you to maybe slow down on some of the things?
Yeah, because he had identified that I was punching on the right things. He identified that Augustine will be able to know that this, and that is not right. Let me give you an example. Before, whenever coaches were appointed to handle the national teams, under Mr. Nyantichi's tenure, the executive council or whoever were in charge will pick 3 people, and then 3 people from the technical committee will meet, and then do the interview and assess them, and then. And I remember an appointment was made for National Under 17. And it was Pakwesi Fabian and Opele. Pakwesi Fabian was the head coach, assisted by Opele. I was in the US then, on a vacation. So immediately the appointment was made after the interview had been done. I knew that Sika Kono, who had applied to be the trainer or the coach for National Under 17, was the best amongst all the people that were interviewed. And he applied for Under 17 specifically because he thought he was now. But the job was given to Pakwesi Fabian, assisted by Opele. So I called Uncle Ben. I said, Uncle, what is starless to Ghana football? And he said, it is the foundation. Of the game here in Ghana. I said, okay. So I said, so if you don't get it right from the beginning, the end result will not be the right. He says, yes. I said, okay, Uncle, why would we appoint Pakwesi Fabian as Under 17 coach? Brilliant. And say Opele should assist him. I'm not saying Opele is not good. But look, the Under 17 is the foundation. Players are supposed to be 15 years, 14, 15, and 16. They are still amateurs. These players don't know what really entails or pertains in the game. So if they get certain things wrong technically, we, the coaches, have to demonstrate to them on the field of play. Isn't it? He says, yes. But Uncle, you know Pakwesi Fabian did not play football. I mean, he's been part of so, but he didn't play football physically. Opele, no. So, if these people were coaching the Black Stars or Satellite, fine. But not Starlets. Because the things that they are going to get them wrong, that they will not be able, technically,
to
teach them. Then he says, Augustine, when are you coming down? And I said, oh, in about 4 weeks' time. Okay, when you come, let me know, I'll call a meeting. And I want you to ask the same question. Indeed, I came down, I called the uncle, I'm back. Okay, next week, Tuesday, we'll have a meeting. So we went. And he told me, when you come into the meeting, ask that question. When it comes to any other business. So we did our thing, and then when he go, I asked the same question. And then Coach Adi, may he so rest in peace, said, Augustine, you are right. But you see, we put Opele there for media purposes. Yes. What for media purposes?
You hire a coach
yes.
for the foundation of your football?
Yes.
Just for the media purposes?
Yes, they put him there for the media purposes. And I said, why, coach?
What sort of justification was given for that?
So, you can see that the real pressure did not come from them. God, technically, it wasn't the right. And if you can remember, for me, it was one of the worst under 17 teams that we had. Because we went to a tournament, I think, in Algeria, if I'm not wrong, Algeria or Morocco. And we lost the first game to Nigeria by 6-1 or something, if I'm not wrong.
Which year was this?
2011.
2011?
Yeah, 2011, somewhere there about. You can go back and check.
Yeah,
we came out of the...
Yeah, that was one of the horrible U17 teams that had to get Salah Stete to come back to take over the
under 20.
Yes.
Really? And so, if we do these things to ourselves, and somebody who has played the game before and knows these things, and you talk about, I'm not a talkative.
But couldn't people have said that because you have a good relationship with CK, that's why you, in your opinion, you think CK should have?
No, it wasn't that I wanted CK to be the coach. I said, amongst the people that came for the interviews, everybody had been given an area to apply for. He applied for under 17. So if interviews are conducted and he comes on top of that area that he had applied for,
and he's not handed it,
and he's not giving it to him,
yeah,
and then we give to some other people because of supposed whatever
media,
and then it goes wrong, who are you supposed to blame?
But as a committee, couldn't the committee had insisted that based on the interviews we conducted, these were the people,
the executive
first,
always
second,
has
third.
the advantage over it. They don't want to say it. The executive always wants what they want to be.
Then what is the essence of the technical committee also interviewing people and cannot make suggestion that this person should be the person we believe can lead the technical team?
They will say you are not a team player. Mufta, you have been in this business for that long.
But we are having a conversation.
I'm not supposed to be the one to tell you what it happens.
I need to understand, because the point is that if you hire me to do a job for you and I make recommendations based on my technical experience, but you decide to overlook what I've suggested and go to hire someone, quote unquote, who do not have the technical abilities to execute what the technical team thinks should be done, then we are doing ourselves a great disservice.
That's how come we are where we are. Because people are not willing to come out. In the name of team. You are not part of the team, you are not part of the team. But my brother, as you sit here, if you identify that I'm doing something which is not right, and you are not able to tell me, and you continuously look the other way for me to perpetuate that, and I fail, haven't we failed together?
At this one, I've supervised your failure.
So, you see, so we have to begin to really understand the norms of this game and try to correct them. Seriously. Other than that, tomorrow you get me in another interview, you pose the same question, may probably give you worse answers than what I'm giving you now. But that is a reality. It is.
Did you eventually find out who hired Pakwesi and Opele?
I told you earlier on that 3 members of the executive committee then, now it's called executive council.
Yeah.
And then 3 members of the technical committee would always meet to interview. At the end of the day, the decision is collective. So if the technical committee then will propose and then the executive does not take it, and then they think otherwise and make those appointments, the technical committee can't come out to come and say subsequently that this is what we did, and then
why can't
then you can, but you come, you say that, and you know that you are off next time.
Yes. So to protect your integrity,
yes.
Then it
you
is
remember,
better to.
You remember 2015?
Yes.
4 years after serving 4 years on the technical committee of the FA, I was moved to the under-20 national team.
Okay.
As a management committee member.
Member.
So I was part of that Salah Stete team that went to New Zealand.
New Zealand. And you were beaten by Mali.
Yes. And guess what? You see, these are the things that I don't understand. As a committee member, 2 or 3 persons from the committee are supposed to be part of the team at any time that they travel. But you have me, Augustine Ahinful, who has played the game before, has played under 20 all the way to the final. We have won the AYC. I was the top scorer. We went to the World Cup. I was one of the top scorers. I think we were 2 or 3. But Zambrano from Colombia won because he played fewer matches. Who has transitioned to becoming a coach? And also,
and you have to add a calf license A, isn't it?
Yes, and then also a member of a committee. And then we were in training camp in Turkey when we were going for the AYC in Senegal. I was with the team in Turkey because they know Turkey was my base and they needed me to communicate with the language and all that. But when we were going for the tournament in Senegal, I was dropped because supposedly I had traveled the team to Turkey, so I could not. Some other committee members should go. But you have to bear in mind that I have played the game before. I am a coach. And so if I'm a member of the committee, I can even assist the coach in terms of when things go bad, technically. The same thing happened. We went to Australia for pre-tournament camp before the World Cup. But I wasn't part of the team to New Zealand. So I had to return to Ghana while the team was in New Zealand. So
let's rewind.
For me, I think that it was wrong. It was wrong.
Let's rewind the conversation a bit. What is that one thing you've never told anyone about yourself?
I don't know. I think everything about me is out there.
No?
Yeah.
There are definitely some aspects of you that we don't know.
Oh, what? My kids?
How many?
I have 3 boys, 3 girls.
6?
Yes.
Wow, what a striker.
I'm a grandfather now.
Oh, really?
Yes, my firstborn has a nice baby boy in the US. They are all outside of Ghana. You know, I lost their mom when the first one was barely 11 years. 11th December will be 15 years she passed. Now my son will be 27 early next year. And then the second one is 20. They are all down with university. The third one is in Minnesota University. The fourth one recently completed Accra Girls. She left last Friday to US. The fifth one is in the US high school. And then the last one is with my current wife. Yes, she's also over there. So that's all that. But so I've said it.
You are born in more?
Eh?
You go born more?
I don't think so. But if it comes, it comes. You know, I had in mind, when we got married, I had in mind of having 2 kids. 1 girl and a boy. Because I loved girls growing up with their hair made and all that. I loved. So it was always my prayer to have a firstborn girl and then a boy. And then we had a boy. And then like almost 3 years, another boy. Between this one and that one, almost 5 years, another boy.
Back to back to back.
Boy. And my wife was so down. And then almost immediately, between the 3rd and the 4th, she got pregnant. So my 3rd born and the 4th born, it's exactly 1 year, 9 months difference.
Okay.
Yes. He's born January, the girl is born in September. 5th January, 8th September. So it was exactly, so she got back, pregnant again. And every test that we had said it was a boy. And then she gave birth, it was a girl.
Oh, nature.
Everything. Even the videos on screen in the US, you can see the testicle, everything there. But when she gave birth, it was a girl.
Nature?
Yeah.
Nature finally gave you your girl?
Yeah.
And so you can strike.
Yeah, when I had the girl, I was overjoyed. But the 5th one also came. And from nowhere, I don't know. Maybe it was God's doing. Because there's a lot of stories behind. Maybe that is my secret I don't want to share. I will share it on another platform. When we come to religious platforms, this is not a religious platform.
No, let's have that religious conversation. No, in fact, I'm interested. I'm interested in the wonderful hand of God in this.
Oh yes, because you see, I had decided I didn't want to play football again, 2008, because I couldn't run from here to there, and then my knees would be swollen. It was like, you see, like it would be shaking as though there was water in there. And it happens playing football. Once every now and then you have to go, they will drain the water out of the fluid. And then 2008, I said, I can't deal with the pain again. And I didn't want to have any operation, so I stopped. That's how I stopped football. So for 3 years, I couldn't play Monday Stars. I couldn't run from here to there. And because I couldn't run. I'll go to training at the Baolishi Park, my friends Osekofo and the rest will be playing for, I'll be sitting there watching them. So one day I went to church on a Sunday, and as we're doing the worship songs, the woman who was singing, who was not a pastor, just said, I've seen that the Holy Spirit has entered here and is holding somebody and they are healing that person. They are holding the person's knees and they are healing the person. So as I stood there, I just said to myself, oh God, I wish it was me. All my friends play Monday Stars and I don't play soccer for 3 years. I wish it was me. So I just prayed that prayer. And then after the worship, I decided to walk down there to go and get a bottle of water. So as I walked towards the gate there, somebody tapped me from behind. And when I turned, it was the woman who was on stage singing. He said, Mr. Ahinful, hey, can I speak to her? I said, why? He says, what I said was you. As I was singing, the Holy Ghost opened my eye and I saw 2 angels. One was leaning left and the other right. They were shaking your knees like this. So I asked, that what are they doing? They said, they are healing you. I said, yeah, that's why I stopped playing football. So wow, then the God is doing something. Do you believe in this anointing oil thing? I said, so buy one there for me. There's a woman who sells. So I bought a small body olive oil. She prayed over it and gave it to me to just use it on my leg. So I came when I applied it 1 or 2 times. I just put the oil somewhere. Exactly a month after. Exactly a month after, because it was a Sunday. The month, that day was a Monday. So I just put on my shirt like this and I went to the park and I was playing football. Everybody was, Augustine, have you been training secretly? I said, no, I'm healed.
Wow.
Yeah. And then this last born year that I'm talking about. So when I came home 2000, that I wanted to stop football. I think a month or 2 after, my wife said she was pregnant. I said, you say you have your girl. You have the girl. You're going to do family planning. You know I'm a striker. I can shoot and score from angles.
Any angle.
And then she says, I didn't know. Then I didn't know women were secretive. Like, she brought out a diary. Everything that had happened between ourselves since I met her is in that diary. So she said, oh, you know, you came to from Turkey on this day. I had my menses on that day, so I was safe. So when we had sex, I couldn't have been pregnant, but I'm pregnant. I said, oh, no problem. She said, no. People will say that we are giving birth as well, we don't think. Because you have 3 boys and a girl, you want to. I said, but you are a married woman. He says, no. So she went to see the doctor and he was terminated. And then I went to US because my leg was not, I went for a checkup. And then I came back after a month, some weeks down the line, I came. And then some 2 months down the line, she said she was pregnant again. I said, madam, you have Ola Body Williams here, and you are doing all things like that.
You have a striker at home.
And then she says, no, the same thing happened and blah, blah, blah. I said, oh, yeah, keep it, no problem. I mean, God gives and then she carried the pregnancy for like 3 months. And then one day I was going for an all-night service. So when I got there, I picked my phone. I wanted to put it in the letterbox there. Yeah. And I saw she sent me a message that I have an appointment with the doctor tomorrow to go and terminate the pregnancy because I can't do it anymore. The sleepless night and all that. I said, no problem, go ahead and do it. But, madam, should something happen, count me out. So I went to the church. I put my phone. I went to church. After church, when I went to the church and I was praying, I saw this pastor that had visited us from Kumasi. He was walking towards me, but we're praying. So he just came and then stood beside me and then whispered to me that God is telling me that I should tell you that your wife is pregnant, that she wants to touch it. This is the 2nd time. And the moment he said this is the 2nd time, I began to shake a bit. So I looked at him like that. He says, did you hear what I said? Me say, I may catch him say, we afa ye phone person or then in saka. corner ko catch her and say, "Oh no, I mean, problem be a she shouldn't touch that pregnancy." This is the second time. In fact, I couldn't pray again. So I just came out. I waited. The church was over like 4 a.m. thereabout. Then after, I showed the message to the pastor. He said, "Oh, what's the problem?" I said, "I don't know. She said she has too many kids." So, "No, I'll be here. So bring her to church. Let me counsel her." So I came home. And I said, "Well, let me sleep." When she wakes up then. So I went to sleep in the other bedroom. Because she was there. As I was sleeping down there, then my phone message, ping, 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 ping. Like 5 o'clock, who will be sending me text me 5. Then I heard the voice that read the message. It was clear, audible voice, read the message. So I just got up, I pressed the phone, and it was my wife. I am at the hospital waiting for the doctor. She had moved the car from the house, and I was so tired, so I didn't even hear. So I called her, I said, "Hey, madam, this is what I went to church. I was told. But once again, like I told you in the text message, I'm not going to stop you. Go ahead. If something should happen, count me out. You're a big girl, madam." I just hung up. Then I didn't see her the whole day. I think she went to her mom's place and she never came back until very late. I didn't ask her whether she did it or she didn't do it. So I was there. I could see the pregnancy was coming. Then she gave birth to the last one. But strangely, 6 months after giving birth, she passed. So these are my secrets.
it is a hand of God for me.
She's now 15 years.
God having to speak to you.
Yeah.
I don't want to remind you of old, but how were you able to take care of a 6-month-old baby?
You know, like you said, God, sometimes you don't understand him, but it is what it is. Whether he's here with us or he's somewhere, we don't know. But I believe that he's amongst us. The small girl never took breast milk the first day she was born. Never. So from the word go, she was on milk, like the artificial one. In the US, when you give birth, they supply you this milk. Yeah. You can't use it tomorrow. It's just today. When the baby doesn't bring it, you discard it. So
and you get another one.
Yeah, it is supplied you. So every now and then you go for it and until the baby. And she never took the breast milk. So when she passed, though difficult, it wasn't difficult because she was not on the natural one, but this artificial one and other foods. So I could handle. And she was somebody who, the small girl, I mean, hardly would want to go somewhere. Somebody, like it's me and the mother. So initially it was tough because she wouldn't want to go to anybody in the house. People came there and she would just be crying the whole day. But when I'm around, she's okay. And it was like myself, the siblings. So it was difficult, but not difficult. People offered to take her along, especially my wife's big brother wanted to take her to the UK, as well as my other girl. But I said no, I wanted to be with them, to grow together with them.
So you...
Yeah, from the very onset, 6 months, like we were together until...
You took care of them alone?
Yes. So when I was traveling, we all go. When I'm coming, we all come. Like they are on vacation. So my small girl, like she started school very early. Because when the others were going to school, she was always crying. So I spoke to the school mistress and said, no, bring her. So she stayed in one class for like 4 years. 4 or 5 years before because she was like a baby. So when they're on vacation, we travel out. So I go to US, I bring them back. Some of the travels I had to cancel because I don't have time. My kids are there. So I have to be here. So for the first 5 years, it wasn't easy. But I had also this woman that we're in church with, who normally will come cook for them sometimes when I wasn't around. Maybe I'm traveling to Takrady or something. And I had this guy who really helped. We call him Kaporo. He was like a brother. He was in the house taking care of them, as I also do other stuff. So, I mean, such is life. You see, you hear about death and you don't really envisage that it's going to come to you one day. But one day you wake up and it hits you like an earthquake, and if you are not prepared, it's not going to be easy. But I always, God, there's a lot of things God has done, but when my wife died, I was asking a lot of questions. Master, this is a woman who has suggested we give you a land to do your work. You know, I have a big land on the main Kaneshi Odoko Road.
Oh, okay.
Very big land. And my wife suggested we give to the church. So that's why we're worshiping. We are giving it to the church. And somebody was fighting with me concerning the land in court. And I was going to court every now and then just to fight for God's work to go on the land. And then
God has decided to take from you.
Yeah, after you take it with a small girl of 6 months. I mean, God, what is going on? Then one day I was driving, before her burial, I was driving alone on this stretch coming home. Then, I don't know whether my hand pressed or whatever, and then the radio changed to Sunny FM. And there was ministration by Pastor Takia Boy or Bishop Takia Boy. And strangely, he was preaching about death. And I just was driving, I was listening. It was like God was speaking to me directly. That every time people buy newspapers and they see obituary and they read and they don't even think that one day, but the next moment you close your eyes and you open, that thing is in your family,
in your circle.
You. And when it happens, what do? We all want to go to heaven, so we are in church praying and fasting and all that. Nobody also wants to die. So as the man kept preaching, I said, wow. So that was when I began to really understand what had happened. So I took it on board. Like Siki Akono would tell, oh, guessing, we need you. Wife, I'm saying, what am I going to do? You want me to go and put my head on the highway for the articulator to come and run over me? No.
What would become of the children?
There are kids to take care of. So in as much as I'll stay in my room and grieve, when I come out there, I have to put up that whatever. So, I mean, for me, if I hear religious argument, I don't want to be involved. Because I know the man that I believe in. So all these religious argument, blah, 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 I don't read because I know what he's done. And I really don't want to.
God has really laid his hand on you.
No, why not?
Because to have been able to go through this is
it's not easy.
Quite a difficult period for anyone to experience. And having kids, handling them alone.
I'm a grandfather now.
Wow. Wow. If you just joined us, we are speaking to Augustine Ahinful, a former Black Stars International. And in fact, he shared quite incredible stuff with us here on Prime Take. So this full interview will air on Saturday at 7:30 p.m.